And there's lots and lots of stories in here. I'm going to read one of them today. And it's about a boy named David. Shall we read it together? Okay, let's go. In God's promised land, in a little town called Bethlehem, there was a boy named David. Every day, David helped his family by taking care of their sheep. When lions or bears came to hurt the sheep, God helped David to chase them away with his staff and his sling. David had lots of big brothers. They were soldiers who fought for God's people. One day, David left the sheep so he could take some food to his brothers. The big brothers camped on top of a hill with the king's army. On the next hill were enemies of God's people, people who wanted to hurt God's people. In the enemy army, there was a very big man named Goliath. He was huge. He dressed from head to toe in heavy armor. He carried a big sword and shield and a giant spear. Every day, Goliath shouted, "Choose one of your soldiers to come fight me." When God's people heard Goliath, they were afraid. Even the king was afraid. David, he was very little. But when David heard Goliath, he was not afraid. David said, "Don't be afraid. We can trust God to save us. God will help me fight Goliath." Wow, what do you think? Can this little tiny boy beat this big, scary man? Let's see. Goliath had armor and a big sword. David had just a small sling. David put stones in his sling and he swung it around. The rock hit Goliath right in the middle of his forehead. Goliath crashed to the ground and died. When the enemies saw that Goliath was dead, they ran away. Wow. So David was able to beat Goliath even though he was small. But it wasn't because David was really clever or strong. It was because he trusted God and he knew that God was much bigger than Goliath. And that helps us to know too, that when we feel scared, we can trust God. Maybe you're scared of the dark, or maybe you're scared of spiders, or maybe you're scared that there might be something in your cupboard when you go to bed. But do you know what? No matter how we're feeling, if we're feeling really, really, really scared, we can always talk to God and say, "God, please help me to be safe. Please help me to be brave. Please help me to trust you." And God, he always hears us. And he is so much bigger than anything else. Oh, that's fantastic. Shall we talk to God now and say thank you that he's so big? Ready? Let's pray. With our hands together and we'll talk to God. Dear God, thank you that you are such a big God. Thank you that you are bigger than Goliath. And thank you that you are bigger than anything that we are scared of. Please help us to talk to you and to trust you. Amen. Well, thanks so much for joining me for our Bible story today, and we'll see you next week. Bye.